Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to break down something that is, well, it's a huge deal for anyone even thinking about buying a home. We're talking about the rules you need to know when you're owning property with someone else. So, let's get right into it.
I mean, who hasn't, right? It's that classic dream, a place that's all yours. But, in this day and age, especially in certain cities, getting there, well, it rarely looks like a solo mission. And yeah, that's the reality for so many of us. To buy a home, you often have to team up with your spouse, maybe a parent, a sibling. Co-ownership isn't just a choice anymore. For a lot of people, it's the only way in. So, why is that?
Okay, let's start with the big why. We need to look at the financial pressures that are really pushing us towards buying property together.
It's kind of a domino effect if you think about it. Property prices go up, which means you need to borrow more money. But to get that bigger loan, you have to get past the bank's strict rules, like the TDSR. That's the total debt servicing ratio. It basically caps how much you can borrow based on your income. And for most people, one salary just doesn't cut it. That's exactly why pooling your resources, combining those incomes, becomes absolutely essential.
So, you've found your buying partner, you've found a place, you're ready to go. Now you've hit your first major legal crossroads. You have to decide how you're going to own the property together. This is called your manner of holding, and it really boils down to two main paths: joint tenancy or tenancy in common. But before we get into the differences between those two, let's talk about the one golden rule that applies to all co-owners, no matter what. It's called the unity of possession. In simple terms, it just means everybody owns the whole thing, together. You can't just draw a line in the sand or, the living room and say this half is mine. Nope, the entire property belongs to all of you, all the time. Okay, this is the big fork in the road. Think of joint tenancy like having one key to the house that you both share. You own it together as one single unit. The most important thing here is the right of survivorship. If, God forbid, one of you passes away, their share automatically goes to the surviving owner. Now, tenancy in common is totally different. It's like you each have your own separate key. You own distinct shares. Maybe it's 50-50, maybe it's 70-30, and you can leave your share to someone in your will. It's way more flexible, but it definitely requires more thought.
All right, now let's talk about something a lot of home buyers completely miss. Most of us think ownership starts the day you pick up the keys, right? Well, there's actually this really powerful in-between stage of ownership that kicks in way before that.
Just look at this timeline of the buying process. The second you exercise that option to purchase, boom, you've got a legally binding contract. And look right there at step 3, something amazing happens. You become what's known as the equitable owner. This is long before the deal is completed, and you become the full legal owner.
And this is such a big deal. Being an equitable owner isn't just some fancy legal term. It literally gives you a special status. You're not just some person with a piece of paper anymore. The law now recognizes that you have a real, concrete interest in that property. And that interest, it comes with power.
So what are these new equitable superpowers you get? Well, for one, you can lodge something called a caveat, which basically puts the world on notice that you have a claim to that property protecting your purchase. But it gets even better. You can actually start applying for renovation loans. You can even start talking to authorities like the BCA to get your renovation plans moving. It's like getting a massive head start on making the place your own, all before you even have the keys. Okay, for our final idea, we're going to peel back one last layer, and this is where it gets really interesting. We've talked about what's written on the official title deed, but what happens when what's on paper doesn't match the reality of the situation?
This quote here, it says it all. The court can and will look beyond just whose names are on the document. They'll ask questions like, who actually paid the money? What did everyone intend to happen? What's the fair and just outcome here? This is the crucial difference between who is the legal owner and who is the beneficial owner, the person who truly benefits.
And that really leaves us with this one powerful question to think about. Having your name on the title is just the beginning. Co-ownership is this complex web of choices, legal stages, and hidden rights. And understanding all these different layers, it's not just helpful, it is absolutely essential for anyone starting that journey to call a place their own.